This is page 14 in the middle. There's only 2.5 pages left for part one. So as I said, Einstein argued that the goal of science was to make accurate predictions. January 15, 2024. Love, Fun Idol plot. In life, we focus on all the things that we have actually done. We often get paid for what we did, but also very important to consider all the things that we did not do, especially things we could have done. You may have been alive for 40, 50, or 60 years or longer. You may have been very popular, but as a young man, you gave up the chance of meeting a beautiful girl because of religion of God. Religion can be that powerful, and you gave up some beautiful girls. You gave up other beautiful girls because of her. Later, she married and had a child with someone else. A few years later, you returned to her, but maybe it was too late. At any rate, she never had your child, nor did you have a child with someone else because of her. What would have that child been like? Was that a huge, unbearable sacrifice? When you die now, since you have no kids. Though surprisingly, history has proven time and again that a child is not like their parents. And having a child may require you to sacrifice a possibly great career. Someone said that humans are mortal, and having kids gives them a sense of immortality, though no one has proven that we are mortal. Even like Spinoza argued for the immortality of the soul. Page 15. January 21, 2024. I add ancient times. Aristotle, many philosophers don't study ancient or medieval times, especially not medieval times. Ancient times. Aristotle, 384 BC to 322 BC. He lived 62 years. I think that few people are familiar with Aristotle's books. In the last few centuries, even most philosophers focus on the modern age, and laymen may know a few names of scientists of modern age, but may not know philosophers. The medieval age is also ignored by most philosophers. Well, science really began around the time of Newton. But Plato and Aristotle are considered the greatest philosophers of ancient times, at least in the West. The Eastern world was unknown to us for a long time. Famous people like Buddha or Confucius, but they did not write anything or very, very little. In the medieval age, Averroes of Islam, Maimonides Judaism, and St. Thomas Aquinas Christianity gave Aristotle very high praise, if not the highest praise of all. They also made original contributions to his system. He thus became the foundation of Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. I think since the 19th century, the Eastern world, especially China and India, began learning about us and vice versa. In the modern age, since 17th century, Descartes, the philosopher-scientist G.W.F. Hegel, born 1770, praised the philosopher Aristotle above all other intellectuals in history. So that must mean it includes Newton in science and Kant in philosophy. The famous biologist Charles Darwin is considered to be the founder of the theory of evolution. He said that his teachers were like gods to him, but that they were really like school children next to Aristotle. Einstein said that Newton was the most influential person in history, though a recent contest with experts or talented judges put Gutenberg above Newton since he invented the movable printing press. That greatly improved the range and ease of communication all over the world and also preservation of knowledge. You didn't have to write it by hand, which was very slow and expensive. Newton criticized the ancient Greeks for relying too much on armchair speculation. Unlike science where you do experiments, though observation is really also a type of experiment. Aristotle was the father of logic, and his elaborate theory of syllogistic logic. It allowed doing science in the sense of demonstration, and he used very complicated arguments. He also observed people and many animals as the basis of his psychological and biological works. Though the microscope and telescope were not invented until the modern age, and Newton was one of the fathers of the mathematical calculus, a key tool of thinking in science. Kant highly praised Newton, but said that he was not a genius. He was just more highly skilled than his contemporaries. In science, there are rules that you can follow, unlike in the fine arts. Hegel also criticized Newton, and Hegel thought that he himself may be the second Aristotle. Hegel said that there was no one arose till his time like Aristotle still. In the 20th and 21st century, science is so successful and prestigious that many experts no longer see philosophers or even metaphysicians as the supreme intellectuals, especially after the critique of religion by philosophers and scientists, and the critique of metaphysics by Kant and other philosophers. Also, science uses sophisticated mathematical techniques which only a few people can handle or know. Science is also the basis of engineering or technology, and engineering has greatly transformed our world for the better in many ways. But there are still philosophers who did research metaphysics recently, like H.A. Wolfson at Tianjin or Charles Hartshorne. Gene Roddenberry, who created Star Trek, rejected religion but believed in God. Indeed, the modern terms aliens may also refer to traditional terms demons, angels, God, or supreme being, and aliens are very popular in the last 100 years. The multiple award winner philosopher Charles Taylor won many prizes of philosophy and religion that were very prestigious even for his recent book called, surprisingly, it's good, A Secular Age. January 23rd, 2024. See also part 2, Proofs of God. This is page 16. This is the end of the first part of the article. It's actually pretty good. Still have part 2. So this is like now about 9 minutes. And the other part before that was like 50 minutes. So it was about an hour. Some books. This is Philosophers Speak of God by Charles Hartshorne. It's about, he mentions St. Anselm. This is his book, Anselm's Discovery. This is Insights and Oversights of the Great Thinkers. And this is the Library of Living Philosophers, volume 20. And the major critique of the critique of pure reason is the major critique of the proofs of God. Okay, so I'll take a break here. I still have to record part 2.